Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are Senior Resource Center, and this is a part of our live webinar series with our SRC University. And today's topic is the power of income. My name is Tara Kendrick. I'm here with Bill Witt, and we are really excited to have you here today. We also want to let you know about our book, More Money for Retirement. You can download the free book as a PDF on our website, or you can fill out a form on our website and we'll send you one for free. All you have to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. So we've created Senior Resource Center University, or SRC University, to help with retirement education. We keep the sessions to about 30 minutes. So whether you watch it live or you watch the recording, it's always available on your schedule. A lot of the topics that we discuss are in our book. So if you ever forget anything or want to share them with a friend or family, you can send them the book, or you can always have them listen to the webinar. And our ultimate goal is to create a safe, secure retirement for people. And the good news about our school is there's no final exam. So at SRC University, we do comprehensive retirement planning, and that's looking out 20 and 30 years to see, what is life going to look like? Are you going to outlive your money? Will you have enough? Do you need to make any changes today to affect the outcome of tomorrow? We do some tax planning, so not tax prep, but just finding ways to help pay less tax for people. We also do a lot of long-term care planning, and what that means is helping people use federal and state programs like Medicaid and VA aid and attendance to pay for long-term care. And lastly, we do estate planning. We're not attorneys, but we do help people just make sure they have their legal house in order to have their wishes met, whether it's now or in the future. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Bill. Bill?
Thanks, Tara. Hey, welcome, everybody. Glad you're with us this morning. One of the challenges we face is that we are living much, much longer. And that what the challenge to most of us is our money has to last longer and avoid a gauntlet of risks. If you do some research, you'll find that the life expectancy has gone up dramatically over the last 120 years. But that really doesn't tell the important story. If you're 65 today, your average life expectancy is well into your 80s. That's the average man who's 65 will live another 18 years to age 83. The average woman will live an additional 20 years to age 85. But once again, these are averages. And most of our clients, they're watching what they're eating, they're exercising, they're trying to stay healthy. And the end result is people are going to live usually probably into their late 80s, 90s. Some of us will live to 100. So it's important that our money lasts a lot longer. And along this path, we call this kind of a financial marathon, because along the way, not only with longevity, but we have a number of things that erode our buying power and our assets. We've just gone through a period of rampant inflation where the cost of everything went up dramatically. We know that tax rates are expected to increase in 2026. The Trump tax cuts that were put in years ago are going to go away at the end of 2025. And that means more money going to Uncle Sam. We've seen one heck of a stock market run, but we also know that, in the euphoria of markets being up, that every so often there is a correction. If you remember the late 90s, the stock market was just growing like crazy. And then 2000 happened and we had this massive 3-4 year correction that was very painful. 7-8 years later after that, we had the meltdown from the mortgage-backed securities fiasco. And, once again, markets plummeted 30-40%. These things happen every 15, 20 years. We don't know what'll trigger the next one, but it's coming. Along with that, we have other issues in retirement. We've done webinars on long-term care planning. We'll have some of those coming up in the near future. And this is a major expense most of us will encounter. There's also questions regarding Social Security, and Medicare solvency. These programs are both important entitlements, but they're underfunded, and Congress needs to step up. Last week we did a talk on Social Security, or 2 weeks ago on Social Security maximization. So you can go back and listen to that. So today's topics, we're going to start out just drawing a comparison between advisors, planners, and then the kind of financial advice that people are receiving. We're going to go back in history, kind of a little time travel going backwards, and we'll talk about a time I call Camelot, when life was a lot simpler and a lot easier to do retirement planning. We'll then touch on some research that shows the power of income in retirement planning. And, if you want to just get a perspective on this, if you look at the financial ads on TV now from the major brokerage houses, all of them include the income word. They talk about, well, you're going from saving to spending, or the ability to create guaranteed income. We've been doing income planning for about 12 years, and we've taken a path different from many other financial people in building a safe, secure retirement using income as the foundation. We'll touch on maximizing Social Security, and then finally we'll talk about ways to create additional income. So we got a lot to cover. So in our industry, there's usually two different types of people that you may encounter. There are financial advisors and financial planners. I will tell you right up front, we're on the right side. We are planners. And so what is the difference? Financial advisors typically are recommending products. It might be picking a Medicare supplement. It might be selecting a specific investment product, a stock, a bond, mutual fund, annuity, some type of product. And those people do a great job. They tell you where you are today. We're on the other side of the ledger. We're financial planners. And our challenge is not just helping you make good decisions today, but as Tara mentioned, building a 20 or 30-year retirement plan so that you'll know today where you're going to be financially well down the road, where you'll be financially 10, 20 years into the future. And if you go back to last week's seminar, we talked about how we go about building a financial model. You can go back and listen to that. It's not rocket science. We identify assets, income, and lifestyle expenses, and then we can model your future. And our software is very powerful. It includes software that calculates taxes, computes inflation, and kind of pinpoints where you'll be into the future. So we've got, as I said, advisors and we've got planners. And, what are the different strategies that have been around for a long time? Most financial advisors focus on asset growth. They want, the amount of money that you've got in retirement to continue to grow. And for many years, these financial pundits talked about how much money you have to have in retirement to live comfortably. And the problem with that is, if it's based on stock market performance, yes, it can go up, but it can also go down. We build our models. We want growth. We're not anti-growth. We like to see our investments increase, but we build the retirement plans for our clients on a different kind of model. And it's based on guaranteed income, because when you create guaranteed income, it's not subject to stock market corrections. It won't go down. It's something that you're building in your lifestyle, and you know that it'll be there as long as you're here. So I want to go back to a time period earlier in this country, the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. And for a lot of people, that was kind of a period that was thought of as Camelot. So what did our grandparents have that we don't have today? The answer is they had two things. First, they had a Social Security income stream that was tax-free. When President Roosevelt created Social Security in the 1930s, it was designed to be tax-free income for Americans, money that they could count on coming in the rest of their life. And as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Social Security is indexed for inflation. As cost of living goes up, so does Social Security. The other thing that our grandparents had many people had when they retired from a large company after 20 or 30 years of service. They left with a lifetime pension. And this was an income stream covering the employee and their spouse, and it was lifetime. They couldn't outlive it. So our grandparents had two really great foundations for their retirement. But we lost Camelot. And let's talk about what happened. In the 1980s, President Reagan came into office and he realized Social Security was underfunded. So one of the strategies that was put in was to allow up to 50% of our Social Security benefit to be taxable. Well, that wasn't good enough. President Clinton in 1993 upped it to 85%. So most of us today, that get a Social Security check, we thought we'd get to keep all of it. And the reality is, for many of us, up to 85% of our Social Security income is subject to whatever tax rate we're in. So we don't get to keep the full benefit. Well, what's the second thing that changed? Most companies that were offering pensions in the late 70s and early 80s got out of the pension business. Why did they do that? Because the pensions were underfunded. See, when these pensions were put in place, they assumed people would live into their late 60s, early 70s, and then pass away. But the people weren't dying. The retirees were going in and retiring and living well into their 70s, 80s, 90s. So the pension funds were underfunded. So most companies abandoned those guaranteed lifetime pension payments and replaced it with 401ks. What is that? That's a fund where you put money in, and then when you retire, you start drawing against it. What the companies were doing was taking the risk associated with lifetime planning and taking it off the company's shoulders and handing it to the individual retiree. As you retire, they hand you a bucket of money, the gold watch, and they go, "Good luck. We hope it lasts as long as you do." So our goal at Senior Resource Center is to recreate the peace of mind that was created back in this time period of Camelot. And what we found over the years, if income covers your expenses, just like when you're working, do you really care what happens in the stock market or with interest rates? If you've got lifetime income coming in, paying your expenses, ideally income that will increase over time, do you care what the stock market does, what the Federal Reserve does with interest rates? I don't. If my lifestyle is built in, just like when I'm working, where I've got enough income coming in, I feel very comfortable with that. So, when we look at retirement, sometimes I think of it as a home. If with a home, what is the foundation of a home? Well, it's the foundation. And without a good foundation, you don't have a good home. There's a lot of commercials on about foundation repair. And, we live in Texas where the ground dries out and then it creates cracks in our foundation. So to have a safe, secure home, we need a good foundation. And our feeling is to have a safe, secure retirement, we also need guaranteed income that pays out no matter what's going on within the stock market. Said another way, what's retirement without a good foundation? Well, this poor house has suffered foundation failure, and that's something we want to avoid. So the power of income, and this is something Tara and I started seeing about 12 years ago. When we started building these retirement models, something continued to play out. People that had more guaranteed income had better financial and emotional outcomes. The financial part we could see because when we build our models, once we build a baseline model, we can tweak it. We can add in different scenarios. And these scenarios show the plus or minus impact of making changes in retirement planning. But we wondered, has anybody else, any other pundits in the industry, seen the importance of income? And in doing research, we found out that a group, the Principal Financial Group, back in 2019, hired two PhDs, Michael Finke and Wade Pfau, from the American College, They gave them a bucket of money and they said, hey, we'd like you to do some independent research. And these guys did 10,000 Monte Carlo simulations. This is a lot of number crunching, but the importance was to demonstrate how income improves outcomes compared to investments alone. And what they found was that people that had more guaranteed income had better financial outcomes. They actually had more money in retirement to spend. They had more money to leave to the next generation. But they also found that it increased the confidence that people had, reducing stress in retirement. And these are words that came out of their report, their final report. Tara and I already knew that the financial outcome would be better. But what was surprising, their report focused on two different areas. The research revealed how retirees can use guaranteed income annuities to not only improve financial outcomes, which is having more money later, but also increase confidence and reduce stress in retirement. Because what do most people worry about? I overspend and I deplete my savings. Maybe there's a market correction. Maybe I have some unforeseen medical expenses or long-term care expenses. Maybe taxes erode my nest egg. And none of us want to be 80 years old and living on Social Security alone. It just doesn't work. So what's our three-step process to figure out a safe amount of income in retirement? Well, it's real simple. We work with our clients to develop a lifestyle budget. And this is simple to do. You can take the last 3 months of your bank statements or credit card statements, and that'll give you a pretty good gauge of how much you're spending on a monthly basis, how much money you're going to need to live comfortably. Once we've done that, we work with our clients to maximize Social Security. It's a great form of income and it's indexed for inflation. So we want to get the maximum value. If you're married, it's important that the primary breadwinner make the right choices because the surviving spouse will be left with a survivorship benefit. We want to maximize that. And then usually with many of our clients, there's a shortfall. And what we do is look for ways to create additional income in retirement to cover that shortfall. Once you've balanced the budget, you don't have to worry about what stock market or interest rates are doing. This is a quick rehash of what we talked about 2 weeks ago, but with Social Security, you can claim as early as age 62. For most people, full retirement is around 66 or 67, or you can claim as late as 70. What this chart shows is the cumulative lifetime payout based on when you claim your Social Security. And what's interesting, look where the lines cross. They cross right around age 78. So a simple question we ask everybody, do you think you're going to live past 78? Most people nod, yeah, I think I will, Bill. I'm going to be around probably till 88 or 98. Well, if you delay your Social Security beyond age, to a later age, you can see you can delay as late as 70, you get a higher lifetime payout. And it can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. So here's a quick example. A single lady, Susan, this is a real life example. She came to us, she was age 62. Her full retirement age was 67. At 67, she would get $2,500 a month. So we have some powerful software that analyzes different payment options. And we looked at Susan's choices. She could claim as early as 62. But if she does, she starts with a reduced benefit because at 67, she gets the full benefit. By claiming at 62, she starts at 70% of what she would have gotten at full retirement age. If she waits beyond her full retirement age, she gets an additional 8% per year roll up. So you start with a bigger number. Well, when you start with the bigger number, when you compare a bigger number and a smaller number, and you index both of them for inflation, let's say 3%, you'll find the bigger number grows faster. So the gap widens. And in Susan's case, she claimed at 62. Yeah, she gets earlier checks, but the difference between waiting till 70 is a whopping $309,000. And this is based on modest inflation. If we have higher inflation, that gap is even wider. So once again, by delaying Social Security benefits, we get more lifetime income. What if you're married? Well, here's an example. Roy and Jill, both were 64. Roy was the primary breadwinner. He was supposed to get $27.90 at his full retirement age, and Jill was going to get $762. We did a longevity analysis, and we assume Roy will live to 85, but ladies, you tend to outlive us guys. We assume Jill is going to live to 90, which means the survivorship benefit is very important for a surviving spouse. By the way, if you're divorced and you were married for at least 10 years, you have divorced spouse benefits. It could be a spousal benefit. It could be a higher survivorship benefit. So if you've been married before and are single now or widowed, if the marriage lasted more than 10 years, there's some other opportunity for more income. Let's take a look at Roy and Jill. We looked at 3 scenarios for them. They could both claim at age 64. They could each wait till age 66 to claim, or Jill could claim at 66 and Roy could delay his because he's the primary breadwinner till age 70. Well, what do these different scenarios show us? If they claimed it at 64, their lifetime payout, once again, we assume Jill is going to outlive Roy, is $1.2 million. That's a lot of money. But look what happens if we were able to find a way to help Roy delay claiming until age 70. We've bumped up the lifetime payout by $272,000. A lot of that's coming on the back end. You think Jill is going to be happy getting a much bigger check when she's 85, 86, 87? I think she will. We're working with a family right now that we're looking at ways to allow them. They wanted to retire at age 66. This is an active case. And I said, well, you're going to claim at 66. If I can show you a way to support your lifestyle comfortably, but delay claiming till age 70, let's take a look. And when we did, it was a significant amount of additional income, not only for the primary breadwinner, the guy, but for his bride who's going to outlive him, who's younger. So once again, if you have questions on Social Security, call us. This is a very important part of building a safe, secure retirement. What about retirement accounts? We talked about people start out, we used to have pensions, but now most of us have a 401k as we're coming into retirement. And it's important to maximize the amount of money we get out of our retirement account. Well, what do you mean by that, Bill? I mean, how do you maximize? Is that by picking the smartest stock or the best mutual fund? Well, that's part of it, but there's other aspects to retirement accounts. One of the things that people maybe misunderstand today, if you have a retirement account, the year you turn 73, Uncle Sam says, you got to start taking money out. You got to. It's not optional. It's called a required minimum distribution. And the percentage at age 73 is about 3.7, 3.8% of the account value. But as we get older, year by year, the percentage we have to take out goes up. And that means for many of us, we're drawing more and more money out. Maybe there's a few stock market corrections in there. And at some point, my 401k or IRA starts to deplete. Well, we look for ways to generate lifetime income that will come out of the 401k or IRA, but a form of income that increases. We also look for ways, is there a way to convert that income into future tax-free income? Let's take a look. This is not rocket science. So here's my IRA on the left side, one chunk of money. On the right side, I'm showing the same amount of money. I divided it up 50-50, but there's nothing magical to the division. It could be 60-40, 70-30. There's nothing magical. So let's say we have the same amount of money on both sides of the page. Left side, I've got a chunk of money. Right side, I divvied it up. In this case, I'm showing I put some of the money into an IRA annuity. Annuities can hold all kinds of money. They can hold after-tax money that you've already paid taxes on, but they can also hold pre-tax money. Getting money into the annuity, tax-free exchange, no taxes are due. So what happens when I turn 73? Well, remember I said you got to start taking those RMDs, required minimum distributions. And what most people do, or many people do, is they do annual dipping. They start taking money out. On the right side, we have to satisfy the RMD amount. So we turn on an interesting feature that comes with the IRA or the annuity. It's a lifetime income stream. It's a switch that I can turn on whenever I want to. I don't have to wait till age 73. If I need guaranteed lifetime income earlier in retirement, I turn it on, or I can wait till 73. The lifetime income stream that's coming out satisfies the RMD amount. So both sides, you got to take money out. Well, what's going to happen over time? Let's fast forward. As I mentioned, the percentage I have to take out with RMDs goes up over time. And so on the left side, I start to see my IRA account value going down. Maybe there's a market correction, maybe something else, but over time, I'm taking more and more money out. The same thing happens with that IRA annuity. It's satisfying the RMD amount with the lifetime income stream, which allows the other portion of my IRA to grow. Well, let's fast forward a little bit further. And remember something, this lifetime income stream on the right side, that's taxable. Keep that in mind because I'm going to show you how to change it to tax-free income. Stay tuned. So what happens? Over an extended period of time, I'm drawing more and more on the left side out my annual RMDs. On the right side, I've drained the IRA annuity. Now that may sound bad, but it's actually good because remember, it's lifetime income. You can't outlive it. They've paid you out everything you put into the annuity. They've paid out all the earnings that have gone into the annuity, but the checks keep coming. This is the same model that Social Security uses. No magic here. If you start drawing Social Security after about 10 years, you've gotten paid everything you put in plus your employers, but the checks keep coming. Lifetime income. Social Security is the biggest annuity in the country. It's a government annuity. We fund it and then we draw against it. Lifetime income. Makes sense. Okay, so this is a good story. I've gone from getting money out of my IRA annuity. Now I'm actually getting free money. I'm getting money I didn't even put in or didn't earn. That feels pretty good. It takes about 10, 12 years for this process to occur. But there's something else we have the ability to do with an annuity that you can't do with any other financial instrument. When the bucket is almost empty on that annuity, we go back to the insurance company that issued it. And we ask them to do two things. We say, hey, I'd like to convert my IRA to a Roth IRA. What? I want to convert my IRA to a Roth IRA. Well, there's only a few dollars left in the bucket at that point. So there's the tax obligation or responsibility is very minimal. But what happens now? That Roth IRA is kicking out tax-free income. Now, there's two things you have to do. The first is we have to go to the insurance company and say, hey, convert my IRA to a Roth. The second is we divert the income stream coming from the Roth and we direct it to another Roth account we've helped you set up 5 years earlier. Why do we do that? Because to take earnings out of a Roth IRA, it has to exist for 5 years. So it's a two-step process. We'll show you how to do it. But now it's like giving yourself a raise when you're 83, 84 years old. Hey, this feels pretty good. Not only am I getting income, but I no longer have to share a portion with Uncle Sam. This kind of financial modeling makes sense. This is what our clients love, tax-free income in retirement. Let's take a look at a model. Lucy and Bill, they're both 68. They have a budget in retirement of $6,000 monthly. That's what they need to live comfortably. And we're anticipating 2.5% inflation. Lucy has Social Security of $18.56. She plans to draw it at 68. We worked with Bill and said, hey, let's delay yours till age 70. You'll be getting $35.64. Remember, the Social Security is indexed for inflation. They have savings. In this case, they had $675,000 in a 401k, and we're estimating it's going to grow 5% per year. We also, on life expectancy, Bill's lineage usually lasts into their early 80s, but Lucy lives longer. We expect she'll make it to 90, maybe to 100. So we looked at two scenarios. The first one was just run the model. We build a model showing them where they'd be years into the future. But with the second scenario, we said, hey, what if we take a portion of that 401k? Let's take 275 in this case and put it into an annuity that generates an additional 1107 monthly starting at age 70. Now, the annuity we picked has an option to increase. So the income can actually increase if the stock market is up in the future. So what does this mean for Lucy and Bill's financial future? Well, we ran a couple of scenarios. There's just two of them. One, they retire at age 70, the one on top, and it shows that based on their earnings, inflation, taxes, that they're drawing down against their savings. And if Lucy makes it to age 100, she still has about $345,000 in their accounts. That feels pretty good, right? Well, what about scenario number two? With that one, we created the additional income stream. And if you look down at the bottom number, now at age 100, there's 587,000. This is the power of income. It's also the power of looking forward in your financial future. Everybody wants to know where they're going to end up. How much can you leave to the next generation? Maybe you've got a son or daughter where leaving a legacy is really critical. This is how we help people spend more money, enjoy their retirement safely, have better emotional and good feelings, be confident in retirement, but also leave a larger legacy to a charity or potentially to your kids or grandkids. People want to leave a legacy. And the difference here is 241,000. You think your grandkids could benefit from an additional 241,000? I know most of mine would definitely take it. So we talked about, early on in this webinar, the different issues we face in retirement. Longevity. We talked about inflation, that our buying power gets eroded. We all know that stock market corrections hit every so often. Taxes. Boy, Uncle Sam takes a chunk, and with a $30 trillion national debt, I expect taxes are going to go up, probably no matter who wins the next election. Long-term care, very, very expensive, probably the biggest risk we faced in retirement. Management fees can erode what we make. We've seen investments, companies that couldn't falter, like General Motors, Enron, Lehman Brothers. They went out of business or they went through bankruptcy. Wow, that can really hurt if you've got a lot of your nest egg tied up in something that's too good to fail, but does fail. And finally, we talked about Social Security, Medicare solvency, and then there's finally probate, the passing of assets after we die. Well, here's our answer for each one of these. With longevity, lifetime income, something you can't outlive. With inflation, we need increasing income, or we need multiple income sources. We have clients that set up 2 or 3 annuities. They only need a little income, so they flip a switch, turn on the income. If they never need the money in the other annuities, it all goes to their kids. If they do need more money, they have additional switches they can turn on to create more guaranteed income in retirement. Stock market corrections. Well, the annuities we use don't participate in downside corrections. We want to avoid that. Taxes. Well, you got to pay taxes unless we find a way to move money into Roth accounts. By the way, stay tuned next week, because next week we're going to talk about one of the hottest topics that we help clients with, and that's doing gradual Roth conversions. We take IRA funds, 401k funds, 457s, 403bs, whatever pre-tax money you've got, and we show our clients how to gradually Roth convert it so that in the future they have tax-free income. Ask your kids what they want to inherit when you go to heaven. You want taxable money that you're going to have to give a chunk to Uncle Sam? Or would you like to inherit tax-free Roth money? We show our clients how to do Roth conversions. That'll be an important topic next week. Long-term care, spending down. That's not fun. The state of Texas counts all of your assets when you apply for Medicaid. We do a ton of Medicaid planning, but we do it the smart way. Our clients don't spend down their assets at the nursing home. If you end up in a nursing home and it runs 7,000, 8,000 a month, you can go broke. Guess what? Qualified money, IRA, 401k money held in a tax deferred annuity, it's an exempt asset. We had a client several years ago. He had 700,000 plus. He thought we couldn't help him because he had too much money, but his wife had to go to the nursing home. We showed him how to protect all of the marital assets and get his wife on Medicaid. She spent something like $18 a month for the nursing home bed that cost 7,000. Wow. Talk about protecting assets, really important. Many of the annuities we write, they have this income rider that generates that lifetime income, but they also have a feature called an income doubler. If you go to a nursing home or you need help with long-term care, many of them pay out double for up to 5 years, or as long as there's money still in the account. So annuities can play a really powerful role in helping offset long-term care expenses. That's a big one. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it's big. Management fees, many of the products we have no fees. I like that. Whatever it makes, I get to keep. Oh, what about General Motors, Enron, Lehman Brothers? If you had stock in any of those companies, your money was out the window, went out the door when they went to bankruptcy or they went broke. The annuities we write are all government guaranteed, up to $250,000. If you want to put more than $250 in, we write 2 different companies, so it's all protected. Finally, what if Social Security and Medicare do hiccup? What if Social Security benefits are cut in 2031 or 32? You know, they talk about a 25% slash on our Social Security income. Well, if part of Social Security goes away, what are we going to need? Additional income. And that's where it's a safeguard. It's a what if down the road. Finally, probate. We don't want to go through probate. So all of the assets we help our clients manage have a beneficiary designation on them. And so they never go through probate. Wow. We covered a lot in a very short period of time, Tara.
Yeah.
I hope everybody was taking good notes, but if they weren't, like you said, they can always go back to the website, srctexas.com, and they can listen to this over and over again if they want. So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming. Remember, next week, Roth conversions. It's a big one. You'll enjoy it.
All right, everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.